Hi, man.
Hi, Isabel.
Hi.
Hi, I can see you now.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yes, you as well. Thank you for making the time.
Yes, thank you. I'm actually in Brussels.
Hmm.
Um, my meeting was a little bit longer than I expected. So we found a very nice place to have this interview, and as a brewery in
Oh,
Brussels. It's called
nice.
Storming.
Nice. Well,
Beer Storming.
what are you drinking? I hope something good.
Yes, drinking
Oh,
beer,
nice. Ah, yes, that's lovely.
specialty.
Yeah, I love Belgian beers. I don't drink very much, but I do love a good Belgian beer.
Good.
Good.
So remind me, please, the name of the
The
show and
the
your name,
podcast is my name is Montag or Mark, and the
Mark.
show is heavy metal horror. And what we do,
Horror.
horror, yes, um,
Horror. Okay.
horror, yes, yes, not horrors, no. Um, Although we
Heavy
could
metal
probably do a show
horror.
on that horror, yes. Um, we talk about horror movies and metal music, and then we interview rock celebrities like yourself. And
Thank
we've
you.
been doing this
Thank
for a couple of years now
Nice.
and just getting ready to finish up this year. We're going to take some time off and kind of regroup and come back in a few months. And
Nice.
so, yeah, my normal co-host is he got called into work today. It's normally his day off, so it's just going to be a solo for me, but that's okay.
Okay.
We'll have a good
That's
time.
okay for me. That's for me as well, Mark.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Yeah.
invitation.
Oh, my pleasure. I really like Violenta. I really love that album. And I like your
Good.
sound so very much. And so I was excited when I just reached out and like, hey, can we get someone from the band to come on the show? That's how we do things. We just like ask. And
Yeah.
we've been given so much wonderful support from different record companies. And this just started as a couple of friends who just wanted to do a podcast together. We never imagined that we would be in the position we are, getting to talk with people and interview them. And, we've become like
Yeah.
friends with a lot of the people we interview, which is kind of crazy, and it's kind
That's
of
what
wonderful.
music does. That's what music does. When you do something with your heart, you definitely make friends because this is just more about having fun and making art. And we know we have different jobs, and this is just what is more closer to our hearts. So that's
Hmm.
normal. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm pleased as well to be invited to your show.
Oh, great. Well, before we get going, how much time do we have today? Because I know it's the evening for you. I don't know if you got to eat dinner. I don't want to keep you from your evening plans, but how much time can you spare for the show?
I think we can do it in 1 hour maximum.
Oh, yeah, 1 hour's
More
great.
than that. One
Yeah,
hour is okay.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes.
perfect. Though
Hmm.
that'll be just fine. So,
Cool.
I'm going to do my amazing intro, and then we will get
Uh-huh.
into it. Do you know now?
Good.
Do you know anything about our show at all?
No, 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 no. I haven't had the opportunity to discover it yet.
Oh, it's the best podcast you've never heard of. So,
That's
that's
good.
that's what we like to say. No, no, we just have a lot of fun, and we 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 try to ask different kinds of questions, and we have like games that we like our guests to play, and try to do different things. Not ask you the same boring questions that you're going to get in other interviews. So, that's kind of what
Okay.
we like to do. So,
Okay,
um,
that's good.
but I will do my awesome intro, and then we will get right into it. How's that?
It's pretty cool. Just
Excellent.
see yourself. Do it.
All right, let's go.
This is Matt Thompson from King Diamond, and you're listening to Heavy Metal Horror.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always. And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, kitties, tonight we've got a really special guest. We've got Isabel from Fabulae Dramatis. Isabel joining us all the way from Belgium. Thank you so very much for taking the time to be on Heavy Metal Horror.
Thank you very much, Mark, for your interview, for your invitation to be part of your podcast. Very interesting.
Well, thank you. We're going to have some fun. For those of our listeners who may not be familiar with Fabulae Dramatis, the band is like a melodic metal with elements of metalcore and prog, and I just kind of fell in love with the sound immediately because you're hitting all my great soft spots. So I was really really excited to get to interview you. So we'd like to ask a little bit of background just to kind of get a little understanding of who we're talking to and your musical interests. So when did you first get into music?
Well, I actually don't remember like specifically when, because I grew up with a very musical family, and music was part of our lives just from the beginning. And my musical education was kind of like compulsory. I had to listen to all the classical oeuvres of Mozart and Chopin and Schubert, and that's kind of my daily life, and kind of also like education. I had to listen very like conscious. And so classical music was like my first introduction into music. Also in Colombia, and it's a musical country. Like you cannot live without music. Every day, everywhere where you go, you will listen to, of course, it's the music that we listen in Colombia. Like for example, salsa or cumbia, or like speaking about music in general. So when you got that in training from the beginning, you become very sensitive. But it's when I was a teenager that I wanted to escape to all of that thing that is like you have to discover like what is the kind of music that I really like me, that is no imposed, like you have to listen to this. And I found out that actually like metal had the enough energy and enough kind of like I don't give a fuck kind of attitude that I
Yes.
wanted
Right.
that
We
I
want more
wanted.
middle fingers, more middle fingers. Right.
Yeah, like I want that. I want
Yes.
that is it just don't care about anything, and you just do whatever you want. So that I was like, and with some elements of classical music that I actually what I like it. I like it anyway. So, for example, Gothic metal, or sometimes also Pantera at a time with this love and that kind of like aggressive grooves. That was my first interest, like real conscious.
Hmm.
But yeah, music is just have been part of my life since I know. So that's
Yeah.
a difficult one, but I give you some ideas of
No,
so
that's
that you
great.
can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I,
it.
I I grew up in a musical household too. My dad mostly he listened to everything. So I grew up listening everything from my mom was more into classical music, but my dad was into uh, country and western, American artists like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson to Motown, Diana Ross and the Supremes to the Beach Boys. There was just a lot of different music growing up. So I'm kind of grateful for that. So as I got exposed to a lot of different things, and it's kind of carried me through all these years. I'm always looking to, for new music to listen to. So I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are some of your musical heroes?
My musical heroes. Um, well, like I said, like in classical music, I would say like Beethoven,
Mhm.
going back to my yeah, when I was a child. But it depends on the time that I'm living on. Like for
Okay.
now, for example, I have been listening a lot to Beth Hart.
Oh,
Because
nice.
a kind of blues
Yes.
artist. I love like the profound feeling that she has when she sings.
Yeah.
And also because yeah, blues has something and do something with your heart. It's like yeah, deep, like it's
Hmm.
kind of doom thing.
Sure.
If I talk about, for example, music that is made in more metal deep sounds, I loved, for example, Moonspell. Yeah, a band
Mhm.
from Portugal, metal band from Portugal. But I also loved the Spanish band Héroes del Silencio. It was a big part of my life in my teenagers time, and the poetry that he has in the lyrics, deep, and so on. So I have a lot of heroes. I cannot choose just one.
Sure.
It depends on my time. It depends on my period of time in my life, the moment that I'm living on, and I get inspired by them, because you can learn a lot of different artists.
Yeah. Well, that's great. You had mentioned these bands and these artists in the metal scene. Have you been able to meet any of them? And if so, what was that like? And if you had met them, how has that influenced how you respond to when fans come up to meet you?
Yes. One of the heroes that I mentioned, Héroes del Silencio, I really get to know Enrique Bumburi at that time. And it was very, yeah, interesting to get to know your hero, like that you actually realize it's just a human being.
Yeah.
But for example, also one of the people artists that I admire is also Raven. Of them, sorry, them, artist from the Netherlands, and the name of the band is Dool
Okay.
or Dool. I don't know if you can pronounce it Dool or Dool. And it's a very interesting persona as artist, and I met him here in Antwerp, in Belgium. So it was also very cool to get to know how they like react on stage and how they react in person, and how to meet the person behind that artist. It's very interesting to see and to learn from them. So yes, I have met some of them.
Nice. Um, let's talk a little bit about your creativity and your creative process. So, what is your creative process like, or can you tell us a little bit about your own process when writing new music or lyrics?
Yes, lyrics is not something that I also write, because I like to write poetry. I like to write my emotions or my thoughts, and I keep them like in a place that I when I hear one of the compositions of my band, like it's in the process of demo, and what kind of emotions were given to it, what kind of characteristics we're gonna give to it. I say like, okay, I know what kind of lyrics I can give to that specifically piece of music. And so in that way, it gives me more creativity, more freedom to choose, because to write lyrics is something that is very native in me, very normal. And I just need to feel like, what is the approach of this song? What is the intention? Is it like an angry song, or is it just a melancholical one? Or is it something that is more inspirational? It depends on the mood that I choose, the kind of lyrics that I already have storage for myself to apply to one piece of music, and the voice at the end I can apply. And then also I change some words when this word doesn't match in the right moment. I can just change it. This is like a very flexible piece of information that I have, that just gives me the freedom to have it in the right moment. So that's the way I use it.
Nice. Um, I'd like to talk a little bit about touring. How do you take care of your voice on the road?
Well, I had a difficult experience in some 2 weeks ago. Actually, we went to Colombia, and we stayed there for 10 days, and we did just 2 shows, because we had a session drummer, so we had to adjust the new band, the new lineup for this occasion. And it was okay. It was pretty cool. The weather when you're a singer is something that you have to have in consideration. You have to look before what kind of weather is gonna be. And it didn't change so much with Belgium at this moment. It was like 17 degrees, but the thing is, some of the things like when you go on a 10-hour flight and there's air conditioning, that is more difficult than the just normal weather outside. So I had just, yeah, it was good that I was coming back to Belgium, that actually the air conditioning, I mean, made me sick.
Mm.
I came here and I was sick already. So I was thinking like, if that would be the way to Colombia, that would be a total disaster. So yeah, weather and air is something that you really have to have in consideration. So I just learned a lot of this trip. The air conditioning is just my worst enemy.
Okay.
I have to take care of it.
That's good. That's all good. When you're playing, do you prefer smaller venues or like larger arenas? Like from a fan's point of view, being close to a band is really fantastic. But what's it like from your point of view?
Well, we had, like I said 2 weeks ago, the opportunity to have both. So we played at Rock al Parque. It is a really big festival, and the stage was really big and was raining and so on. But we had such a good tech, a crew. We have good monitors. We have a monitor technician and front of house and all the crew. Everything was just put for us so that everything was perfect. For sound, it has to be right. So it felt like I was rehearsing with my band just here in Belgium. It felt that way, even though it was very big and the public was really far away, like 2 meters or more away from us. So that kind is like in technical things was perfect. I feel very confident. I felt very confident to bring out what I had to sing. But it's a pity that the public was a little bit far. So it felt like a kind of, yeah, a little bit disconnected.
Mhm.
But the week later, we had a very close venue. That's kind of a temple of Bogota for metal and rock. And we were opening act for Neo Obliviscaris from Australia. And people were there at the venue 1 hour before the show. So they really went also for us as opener. So that was a kind of very beautiful experience because people was really close to us and we could feel them. And it was a very nice feedback from each other. And in the between, like you could feel the contact and the impact that we had with our music into them. So I would say that we are more accustomed to that kind of venues and what kind of shows. And I still, of course, love the connection because that's what the music is about.
Sure.
Is to make connection with the public and feel like if they are enjoying it because we are enjoying it anyway.
Right.
So you, of course, expected the same from them. So it's kind of difficult. Of course, you can reach a lot of people or a few, but very intense. So I would say a little bit of both. But with the
Yeah.
last one, it feels my heart a little bit more.
No, I get it. We have some really wonderful venues around where we live, and you just a few hundred people, and it's small. It's very intimate, and I love those because you are just you can reach out and touch and the bands who've played there, we've interviewed quite a few of them and they all say we love the small venues, but they also love the big ones too. But they like that intimacy because they want to know, they want to see how people are reacting. And they said the same thing you did when you're at a big venue or like a festival, the people are so far back, you just feel a big distance between the crowd, and so that's interesting. Okay, Isabel, what is your favorite food to eat on the road?
Ah, as if it's vegetarian, I don't have any issue with it. And I normally take care of this in yeah, before I go to different places. Of course, I would take Rider. We say that there's one meal that has to be vegetarian, but I just love food. I'm a really big foodie. And so if I don't get food, I get angry.
There
And
you go.
my
Yeah.
my bandmates who know that, and it's like, okay, go, Isabel is angry because she's hungry.
Yep.
Please give her some food right now.
That's it. The low blood sugar's kicking in. That's right. Well, that's great because I was going to ask what's the one thing you like to ask for on your rider, and other than vegetarian meal, what's the most like
Mhm.
interesting or fun thing that you like to ask for on your rider?
No, we just were straightforward. I mean, we are very happy that we have everything that we need in ear. For me, I need to have my voice very deep into my ear, not on the floor monitors. That's very important for us. And some drinks and food. Yeah, for if that is available, we are just very happy to just enjoy the show. That's it.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the price of fame. What's the thing you love most about being in a band?
For us, and for me especially, is like art is a kind of way of life. I mean, I cannot, if I wouldn't making music, I definitely would be doing something else that is related with art. And sometimes music feels so deep into our hearts that even if we are just rehearsing, it feels so well. Then when there's a public to share, it's even bigger. It just that connection gets bigger and bigger. It's like it's not about the fame. It's just about who's interested in listening to you, because only the act of performing art by yourself makes you happy. And
Mm,
if you can share the happiness, it just makes it way bigger. That's it.
nice. Okay. Well, what's the thing you like least about being in a band?
Sometimes, and that's only for myself. I'm very multidisciplinary. I do a lot of things, and I'm very responsible. Like my feeling of responsibility is a lot, is big, and I sometimes take care of too many things at the same time,
Okay.
and that brings with a bill that is when you feel that you're not taking care of what is actually the core of the thing that you're doing, and that is the music and the way you bring it to the public, that annoys me because I do the administration, I do those things and those things. Of course, we have a crew that helps us, but not always. It's just with the specific times. But that's the thing that I put too much responsibility on myself, and that's not so nice because
Sh-
I just have two hands, and I only have 24 hours, and I just sleep like 3 or 4. And then sometimes it's like just I'm too tired. That's the thing that is not that fun, but it's my fault.
Okay. Um, and the last one, as far as fame goes, you work hard to create your music and put your heart and soul into it, obviously, from what you were saying. How do you handle the inevitable negativity that is so prevalent on social media? We have all these brave keyboard warriors who are like to say negative things. How do you deal with that kind of negativity?
Mm. I just don't pay attention to it. It's like people are
There you
free
go.
to say whatever they want.
Yeah,
Thank God. I mean, it's good that we have freedom of speech.
sure.
By the way, we don't have issues with that maybe yet. But for example, when we were announced for Rock al Parque, we had the opposite. We have a lot of positive, positive comments and a lot of expectation and a lot of welcomeness. So I was like in love directly with the public, with the Colombian public, that I only could be myself on stage letting them know how grateful I feel, so thankful I feel that they received us in that warm way. Also, maybe because Latin American public can be something very rough, sometimes very rough. It can be very harsh. But this time we just were so lucky.
Great.
Yeah, it's because we started as a studio project, and we haven't had like so many gigs because of that, because we were like looking for the right lineup and right instruments. I also decided to the previous albums. I decided to play different instruments on stage, but at the end for this album, we decided no, just my voice is going to be my main instrument. My body is going to be my main instrument. So, and the versatility that we show on stage, and people were really astonished because of different voices in techniques that I can do in just one show. They didn't expect that. And so I think that's one of the reasons they were so enthusiastic about us. But yeah, sometimes you have like one or two people that are just maybe exploring their own frustrations, I guess. But people need
Sure.
to be themselves as well. So I really don't pay attention to negativity, because if you get more of what you are focused on. If you
Yeah.
focus on negativity, you're gonna feel that way.
Right.
So I just leave it at the side and I just focus on the positive things. That's it.
Excellent. All right. I'm going to switch gears here, and we're going to go into some hypothetical situations. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one, I want you to create a supergroup, not including anyone you've performed with. Which 3 or 4 musicians, past or present, would you want to play with?
Like a new band.
Yes, any group, anyone living or dead, you're gonna create a super group. You're gonna play with these 3 or 4 people. Who would those be? Your dream band.
Yeah, that in that way, I would like, for example, like no making like a puzzle out of it. I would just go for a specific sound, and from bands that I have been enjoying a lot nowadays. For example, I was listening a lot to Vola, a progressive band. Actually, they're touring here in Europe. I would love like just going like, I will be your singer today.
Yeah.
And go send the singer home. Just go home. Okay. Huh? Yeah, and also I love, for example, how Igor sounds, or Igor. I know how you can pronounce both, I guess. A band from France, and they are like everything I love, from classical music, from metal. Like they have those deep growls. Of course, they have two singers. They have also a DJ, and they mix also different cultural sounds and scratching. And so it's kind of like baroque music,
Okay.
but sometimes very heavy metal and sometimes very operatic.
Oh,
I would
interesting.
love to have sometime maybe a collaboration with them, or just like being invited just for one song or something. Or I just love them. But so I prefer like going to specific sounds instead of mixing, because for example, Igor, they're just everything. You cannot mix it up any more than that. It's very, very open-minded band.
I like that. I'll have to give them a try. I like the pushing the
Yeah.
boundaries of what is acceptable, what isn't. It's probably have a lot more chance of success in Europe than in the States. But I think as metal keeps on expanding and changing, and there's a whole underground metal movement that's really wonderful in the States. It's nice to know that there are people pushing the boundaries of what metal is or what it can be, and kind of bringing their own cultural identity into the music as well. Like bands like Soulfly, you have that. Definitely, you have this South American influence in their music, and the rhythms and things like that, and the percussion. So I love that when culture becomes part of the package.
Yes, that's true. Because sometimes, like I told you, like I grew up listening to all that kind of music, and sometimes it's like so deep in you, so in your subconscious mind, that you cannot avoid it anymore. Sometimes you can express it, and just sometimes metal is like very radical. It's like, no, we're pure death metal, pure black metal, or whatever. But you cannot deny that metal is a genre that was like mixed with different, becomes the history from other, comes from rock and roll, from other kind of music. So you
Yeah,
cannot
from
say that it's
blues.
just pure.
Yeah.
Yes, from blues, and so and African rhythms as well.
Sure.
So you cannot deny that mixing different cultural elements and music is what makes music more rich. It's richer, it's more interesting. And no, it's just going like out of the box, thinking out of the box. And when the market is like it's reached its level, like, okay, what's next? Who's gonna be the new band that is gonna make a new genre? It's gonna create a new genre, and then everybody's gonna go after them. Maybe we say this is the top. There's nowhere else to go. But who knows? Who knows? Somebody thinks more innovative than you, and then you think it's done. But sometimes another genre can grow up from that. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay. Another hypothetical for you. If you could cover an entire album and play it live, which album would it be?
I haven't thought about that. A new album that I could play myself from the
Yeah,
beginning.
any album that you could cover and play live. Yes.
Yeah, I think if I go like nostalgia, if I go to nostalgia, something that I loved. For example, I would go to the times that I used to listen to theater tragedy, for example, a lot. It was like the beginnings for me, or something like with Lacrimosa. There's something like that, but it's more like going to nostalgia, of course, because I have an enormous respect for those bands and those musics that I don't listen right now anymore to that, because I look for new music and discover some new sounds, but it's kind of more like to honor them.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah, nice. Okay. An alien shows up and asks you to represent metal in 3 songs. What would those songs be and why?
An alien.
An alien from outer space flies down on a spaceship and says, Isabel, tell me what metal is in 3 songs.
Metal in 3 songs.
Yes.
That's a difficult. I don't know one. I would know. I would say to the alien, why metal? Why just metal? There's a lot of music to listen to.
Well, because we're heavy metal horror, so that's why we ask about the metal genre. Yes.
I don't know. I would go maybe to something very heavy first. Oh no, let's go to first like Metallica, of course. It's a band that we have to thank a lot. And I would say just go listen to maybe From Whom the Bell Tolls, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
And the second one, maybe Tool, something from Tool. You might choose yourself. And the third one maybe Sepultura. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think with those you can cover a lot.
Oh yeah.
To understand a little bit.
Different styles. Yeah. No, it's great.
Yes. Yeah.
And our last hypothetical, if you could be any superhero for 24 hours, who would you be and what would you do with your day of powers?
Yeah, when I was a child, I read a nice story. I think it's from the Bible, And it was one kind of a desire somebody had to choose. And it was like to be able to speak all the languages in the world. That
Oh,
would be me.
okay.
I love languages and I love to discover new things. And I think communication is a big problem in our world.
Mm, mhm,
And I think it's because also we have like cultural and language boundaries.
mhm.
But if you could have a nice conversation with somebody in their own language, you can reach a lot of things. You can maybe make hate disappear in one day from Earth, or and put more love between each other and consideration for each other. So I would love to speak all the languages. And like if I, for example, I'm here in Brussels, it's like a Babylonia here. There are a lot of people around the world. They speak all the languages and they try to understand each other in French and sometimes in English. But if you just can talk to that person and have a nice conversation in their own language, I think that can move a lot of things in your heart and in the world and politics and a lot of stuff. So that would be my
Excellent.
special wish.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, we're going to switch gears again, and we're going to talk a little bit about horror, since we are heavy metal horror. Are you a horror fan? And if so, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
Horror movies. No, actually, I have lived a horror film in my childhood, living in Medellin, Colombia, that I actually avoid kind of yeah, that kind of feeling like horror or a lot of blood
Yeah.
or I actually avoid it.
Okay.
I understand. I understand the
Sure.
point, but I really avoid that kind of a horror because I already lived it in horror in my childhood, and
Yes.
I wanted to just go away from that.
Makes perfect sense. Yes, I don't want to cause any issues with that. No, I
Any
makes and
trauma.
I understand. Yeah, well, yeah, yes, of course.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
vegetarian, by the way.
Oh, hey, I understand. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll switch gears out of horror, and these are just called one-offs. They could be a question about anything, so it's like a grab bag. Okay, first one. What would you tell your childhood self about being a professional musician?
Um, yeah. I would say just have fun because when I was a child, I know since I know myself that I used to just sing along when I was on a bus, just going on a trip. I just literally, and I remember that I just literally went from one side of the bus to the end, just singing to people. I just wanted to bring sound through myself, through my throat to people, and I just enjoyed it that much that that experience, that remembrance of myself singing, I still keep it in my when I on stage. I just enjoy it that much. That's the whole point. Just enjoy yourself making music. So I say
Okay.
keep on going. That's it. Have
Yeah,
fun.
that's a great answer.
Mm.
Who are some of your favorite writers, or perhaps some of your favorite books?
Yes. Shakespeare was one of my biggest influences to write, also because it was just funny enough, but I have a very old book from Shakespeare, and it has a lot of like titles. I mean, a lot of compilation. It's a compilation book,
Mhm.
but I don't remember from from which person I got it. But it's also in Spanish. Can you
Okay.
imagine that? It was so funny to read Shakespeare because to read Shakespeare in the real Shakespeare
Yeah,
language that he
it's very
in
difficult
they
language.
yeah, it's very difficult. Of course, it's
Yes.
very difficult, and I admire a lot, of course, but the sensibility that he had, even though it was a translated version, and it just opened up so many doors for me in literature. But also, for example, like the Vedic texts,
Hmm.
it's ancient in Sanskrit,
Yes.
ancient texts. So I used to read the Sanskrit version, and the translated ones. Yeah, and the translated
Nice.
ones in Spanish.
I have a
And like the
translated
Bhagavad.
version, but not Sanskrit. I have Sanskrit version, but I can't read it. So yes.
No, no, but it's not. It's they're made of actually to produce the sound because the
Mhm,
Sanskrit is one of the oldest languages
mhm,
in the world. So the only the act of pronounce it brings some kind of energy
mm,
to you, kind of a mantra.
I
And
like
so that's what I liked also a lot of languages and to read in the original language and then you read the translated version. But like Bhagavad Gita, for
that.
example, and that there's no actually order. So that one they say Valmiki. They say that it's a poem written by Valmiki, but it's so ancient that you really don't know. So that's difficult. But if we go more like to new days, like Gabriel Garcia Marquez, of course, and it's coming a Netflix series of Cien Años de Soledad, 100 times of loneliness,
Oh, okay.
of solitude. Yes, so of course, the Colombian Nobel Prize of Literature, of course, and also Isabel Allende. Actually, I cannot choose just one.
No, it's great. It's hard. I know. It's like picking your favorite thing to do in the world. Like, no, you can't. I get that. I
No,
get that.
no,
Um,
yeah.
okay, the last one-off question. Which non-music celebrity would you most like to have a drink with?
Non-famous celebrity.
A non-music. So anyone perhaps in television or movies or writers, anyone outside of music, a famous celebrity. Who would you like to have a drink with?
A famous celebrity. Who? I don't know. A difficult one. Um, I don't know. That's difficult. But I don't know anyone down here can represent like something that I will have to have a drink with. Mm, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's difficult. That's difficult. I
That's
cannot
okay.
choose anyone. Um, yeah, maybe a writer, more like a writer. I would like to.
Shakespeare?
Yeah, but that's too much asked. No, I would like to, for example, get to know Isabel Allende. Isabel Allende, Chilean writer.
Okay.
She's kind of I say like she's more like a female version of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It's also like Latin American writers. I
Hmm.
like them a lot.
Nice.
And I enjoy my time a lot reading almost all of the books that she wrote and yeah, it's something somebody to admire and to ask so many questions of the process. So I think it's gonna be more a writer than a musician. Yeah.
Excellent. Wonderful. Okay, Isabel. We're going to play a game, and this game is
Mm-hmm.
called Blast Beats. I'm going to
Blast
ask
beats.
you a question. It could be a very short answer or multiple choice, and you just tell me your answer
Okay.
as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite pizza topping?
Oh yeah, spinach.
Paperback or Kindle?
Candle.
PC or Apple?
PC.
Your favorite streaming service?
Spotify.
Your favorite cartoon character?
Uh, cow and chicken.
A favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Dog or cat?
Cat.
Justice League or the Avengers?
The Adventures.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Bigfoot.
Dracula or Frankenstein?
Dracula.
Your favorite sport?
Swimming.
Your favorite movie snack?
Popcorn.
Your favorite subject in school?
Philosophy.
Ah, I did a paper on existentialism. and the moral
Nice.
implications. Yes, I love philosophy. Your least favorite subject in school?
Mathematics.
Yes. Your favorite board game?
Oh, don't have any.
Okay. The best concert you've ever attended?
Metallica, 1999.
Okay. And the last one is your favorite line or scene from This Is Spinal Tap?
From this, sorry?
This Is Spinal Tap. Have you seen it? It's kind of a mockumentary about a fictitious heavy metal band from England. It's a comedy.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Oh no,
All
I
right.
haven't.
Yeah.
But I watched a very nice like indeed like kind of I think I know where you go, but it was from Norway. It was a really comic one, film from Norway, like their black metal band. I like that one, but I don't know if it's in your list.
Okay. I may have to. I'll have to check it out because I like finding. I love watching foreign films, well, foreign to the States, and
Let me
finding
ask the name. What was the sorry, what was the film of the Norway band?
Heavy Trip.
Heavy Trip was the
Heavy
name.
Trip. No, I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with it, but I'll look for it
The
now.
second version is coming.
Yeah, it was so awesome. It's like you see yourself there, we're like, oh my
Oh,
God.
nice.
But
Well,
yeah, in the
yeah.
black metal way, in a
Okay.
black
No, it's
metal form.
perfect. I love that.
So
Well,
awesome.
if you
It
get a
was so
chance to watch
funny.
This Is Spinal Tap, please do that. It's from like
Final Tap. Okay.
This Is Spinal Tap. Yeah,
Yes.
1982. It's quite funny. Um,
Okay.
okay. Here's another game. This is called the
Mhm.
Hot Seat. I'm going to name a band, and then I want you to tell me your favorite album from that band. That's It's called the
Mm.
hot seat because sometimes it makes people squirm a little uncomfortable, like because they may not know the band or they don't know the album.
No, no,
Yeah.
please. I'm so bad on names. I don't remember them.
I'll help you if I
Please
can.
don't make me embarrassed.
I'll help you if I can.
Bad
Okay.
question.
Okay, the first band, Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath. Well, my favorites. I don't know.
So,
Yeah. Favorite album, Black Sabbath.
They're,
Mm,
they haven't, their
I don't
first
know.
album was called Black Sabbath.
Okay, let's choose the Master of Reality. I
Oh, yeah,
don't, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's
that's
like
fine. I know this might be a little challenging. Um, Judas Priest.
the Judas Priest.
no, but say something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Say to the public. My husband said this. Believe in yourself and the six first Black Sabbath albums.
Yeah. There's more like, yeah, my husband says I'm like, believe in yourself in the first album of Black Sabbath album.
Nice. Okay, Queensryche.
Queensryche,
The Eye of the Stranger.
The Eye of the Stranger.
Oh yeah, Operation Mindcrime. Yes, very good. Um, Iced Earth. Are you familiar with them?
Ice Earth, no, that much, but no, no.
Okay, no problem. How about Motorhead?
Motorhead,
The Ace of the Space.
The Ace of Space.
Yeah, Ace of Spades. Yes. How about Carcass?
Carcass,
The album Swanson.
Swanson,
Swan Song. Great. Dio, as in Ronnie James
Dio.
Dio.
Uh-huh.
Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell,
Nice. How about Rush?
Rush. Hmm. Taking. 2112.
Nice, good album. Opeth.
Opus. Uh-huh. I would say, I don't know, that's difficult to. Mm, all of them. You cannot choose.
Yeah, they're so good. Um, okay, how about King Diamond?
King Diamond.
Yes.
Mm,
Merciful Fate.
mm,
Say Merciful Fate.
yeah, Merciful Fate.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Iron Maiden?
Iron Maiden, one of Iron Maiden.
Fear of dark.
Fear of the Dark.
Nice. Okay. And just a couple more. How about we'll do Slayer?
Player. Hmm. Out of Heaven.
Mhm.
Out
Good
of
one.
Heaven.
Okay. And the last one, Fabulae Dramatis.
Violenta.
Nice. It's such a good album. Okay. This question is about fandom. We are all fans of other artists. What is your favorite piece of memorabilia? Perhaps something signed by an artist or something given to you or something you caught at a show?
Like a souvenir from a
Souvenir.
band.
Yes.
Like a souvenir from a band. Um, of course, we love to buy the merch. I mean, for the merch is like when you have a vinyl or CD. I used to have like a ritual, like when I was listening, enjoying and discovering music. It's like you put the CD and you put it on and you listen to it and you go to read
Mhm.
all the lyrics. For me, a band that doesn't have a booklet, it's like it's a waste of time. For me, I want to dig in and listen and read and understand what they're talking about and what is the music going for from. And so for me, that one is the best way to have a souvenir of a band because then I understand them. Just not a t-shirt
Mhm.
or a pic. No, I want to understand the band completely. And
Sure.
so for me, to read and to see the art, the booklet, and to read the lyrics, this is the best way to show my respect for the band.
Nice. We've only got a few more things because I know our time is winding down. It's been a quick hour already. So
Yeah.
what are your plans for 2025? This show will air probably toward the end of 2024, maybe the beginning of 2025. So what are your plans for 2025?
Of course, to go and bring our music to the public more and more. And we're discovering that Latin American public is such a nice public to have and to go because there's a warm. But of course, we also want to enjoy and discover new lands and new festivals and new people that want to listen to our music. So go and bring our music to the public is one of the main goals for next year.
Do you think you'll ever come to the States? I know the way they've changed with the visas. It's very expensive, unfortunately, for artists to come over and only you know, people like bands like Iron Maiden can come because it's so expensive for other bands to come tour in the States. We'd love to
Yeah, and
have
actually
you.
I have Yeah, we have had a lot of comments and questions coming from United States that for me was a kind of a surprise actually. Um, yeah, so that maybe we can be discussing hopefully maybe early 2025, who knows? In the neighborhood of United States, who knows?
Yeah, well,
Probably.
we're near the
Yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio area. That's where we're from. We'd love to see you. I'd love to see you in person.
Ah, nice,
So
Ohio.
yeah, it's the one
Mhm.
thing, when we've interviewed bands and then they come, it's really nice to see them in person and to talk with them and
Yeah,
just,
of course.
hang out and it just makes it makes what we do on this show. And again, this is all none of us expected to be able to talk with people, interview them. That was never our goal.
Yeah,
But now that we've met so many wonderful people, it's nice to continue to support them and do what we can to let people know,
of
hey, there's some really
course.
great music out here to listen to,
Yeah.
and so I hope you can come to the States. That would be really awesome. Um,
Yeah, we get the question several times. It's like, okay, we have to consider it because I mean, people are showing so much attention, that maybe we will make some interviews in business, or I don't know. It could be. You never say no, and of course, you can have your open mind for all the opportunities, and we will grab them all if they come. Yes.
that'd be nice. We'd love to see you. Oh. Before I finish out, I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. I know our time's about up. It's been really wonderful to get to know you, and I
Mm,
hope that everyone gets to listen to Violenta. It is such a good album. Your sound is
thank you.
wonderful, and with you, wish you nothing but the best of success and happiness in the coming year.
Thank you very much, Mark, for your invitation and for listening to Violenta. We need to say that it's also thanks to our two producers. It's like not just one, but two.
Nice.
We have Martin Furia from Destruction, and we have Gustavo Valderrama, who also produced a lot of Colombian bands or Latin American bands. And they definitely helped us to give form to what now is Violenta. And we're totally proud of it. And I
Mm.
think we can share with the public because we believe in it. And of course, we need to give it a try to the public to enjoy it and listen into.
I agree 100%. And there's one last thing I'm going to ask of you before you go. If you would do a bumper for us, a commercial for us. This is Isabel from Fabulae Dramatis, and you are watching heavy metal horror. Could you do that for us?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes. Now, hi, this is Isabel from Fabulae Dramatis, and you're listening to heavy metal horror.
Thank you. Thank you so very
Was
much.
it right? Heavy metal
Yeah,
horror?
yes,
Was
you
it
did
right?
it. That was great.
Yes.
No, it was perfect. Yes. Yes. So
Okay,
we
thanks.
take those little snippets and we kind of put them in other shows. So at the very beginning of our
Yeah,
show, there'll be someone else doing their little snippet. And so when I send this to you
thank
in
you.
a few weeks, you feel free to share it on all your links. It'll be wonderful. And
Yeah,
then we'll let you know it'll come out in a few weeks. I'm going to do my great outro and then we'll say goodbye. How's that? And I'll
good,
invite you
very
to
good.
bring up the horns with me. So,
Of
hey,
course.
you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com, listen to full episodes, or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. If you're watching, that's where you're at. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you know someone who would like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion, and you've been watching and listening to. All right, Isabel, bring up the horns.
Heavy metal horror.
Yes, heavy metal horror.
Heavy metal horror.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.